guys are watching the Cowboys Report. It is Mailbag time. We'll answer all your questions here live, beginning with some super thanks. This one came in before the game, but it was after our last live show. CJ DeYoung, worried about today's game. Afraid we were rusty and the O-line's going to be porous. We're all feeling good now. A very valid concern, by the way, going in. Ended up not materializing. CJ again, really like the new opening graphics. You all saw it. You're watching today's video. I'm a big fan. I love the live show intro too. I think it's an absolute banger. These both came in via super thanks. It's a fun feature, I'll call it. It's not really new anymore. It allows you to donate outside of live videos. You're watching live, you super chat. You're watching on demand, you super thanks. Click the thanks icon, edit your message, send in whatever you want to say. We will give you a shout out because we greatly appreciate your support here on the Cowboys Report. More super thanks from David Monzo. If CeeDee, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks all produce, where would you rate this wide receiver room? If they all produce at or near what they have shown they are capable of, it is an A unit. Now, we have to see him do it. Cooks is older, coming off a bad year. CeeDee Lamb is awesome. Gallup's been bad for a few years in a row. But the previous shown ability is absolutely awesome. Zero FX, there's an E in there too. Tom, since we know you're getting super drunk on Sunday, can I super thanks $25 for you to eat a burger on the next game day live stream? That's what the water shots are there for on the live stream, Zero. I do appreciate that very much, my friend. Elite 360, predict the score for the next Cowboys game. If you get it right, I will super chat $100. Now, I will preface this by saying this is filmed as part of our live show on Monday, which means the Bills-Jets game has not happened. So there could be something that causes the score to change drastically. I'm going to speak positivity in there. 24-23, the Cowboys survive against the Jets. The Aaron Rodgers voodoo magic ends finally against Dallas. It's going to be a much tougher game. Obviously, there's nowhere to go but be tougher. I would like to beat Rodgers just one damn time. One damn time. That's all I'm asking for. Now, you guys can also predict the score, having the benefit of knowing what happened on Monday Night Football. Sound off for me at the pinned comments of today's show, meaning if the ad happens to play here on YouTube, it's fine. Take advantage of it. Head down to the pinned comment, get your score predictions in for the Cowboys against the Jets. Some super chats to get into here. Outside the tight end play, what improvements, if any, do you think are needed for the Jets game? Finish off your drives. You did have 2 drives stall out in the red zone. Now, if the game was closer, because those touchdowns might mean more, maybe you would have gone for 1 or 2 of them. Maybe you would have run the ball on 3rd down instead with Tony Pollard. I would have done that. Thought you were running the ball pretty decently. That's what I would do. Tight end play be better. Might have been Team 50 burger in that scenario. Kicker, don't miss your extra points. And when your defense does not give you, 13 points to open up the game, go score 7 instead of 3 on your own. It'll be much tougher. Defense will not always play that well. Offense will up their game when the weather is not a torrential rain downpour, damn near monsoon, and it's not as ugly as it was across the NFL in Week 1. From Mark, Tom, the drop passes for the tight ends, were they so-so throws or 100% on the receivers? Only concerns I see are O-line depth and more consistency from tight ends and Dak. I think the 4 drops were given in that game. The most obvious one was the KaVontae Turpin bubble screen. Just a drop, There was another drop from Ferguson that would not have been a touchdown, I think, that was right in the hands, like 100% on your tight ends. The other 2 throws that would have been touchdowns, if I'm remembering correctly here, I can't blame the quarterback. It's not all on the tight end. Like, they were kind of tight window throws, so they were not the easiest of catches, but, they got both hands on them. The Hendershot one was a great throw. Like, honestly, I honestly thought, outside of maybe the one nice downfield throw to a wide open CeeDee Lamb, I think the 2 best throws Dak had were those end zone shots to Ferguson and Hendershot. Like, those should have been touchdowns. It requires a good catch in traffic because they weren't wide open, but they got to catch those. Now, maybe it was just the rain. We saw drops everywhere. We saw bad play everywhere. Like, tight end should be better in theory moving forward. Now, because the Cowboys blew out the Giants by 40, we have up to 40 jerseys to give away as part of the BetUS jersey deal. Here's how you can get one. New BetUS customers only. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys125. When you deposit at least $100, they will give you a 125% deposit bonus. If you email us, jersey@chatsports.com, we will give you a Cowboys jersey. Not every player is available. Not every color is available necessarily either. There is some limited supplies, whatnot there, but we will have something that you love, I know. Dak Prescott, we got Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, we have you guys covered there. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com. I know I just gave you a bunch of instructions. If you remember one thing, it's the email, jersey@chatsports.com. The link will be in the comment section description of today's show as well. Send us your info, or send us email. Tell us you want in on the jersey deal. We'll get you back with all the info you need. We need a screenshot of your first bet, your account number to make sure you actually, did it. You're not trying to scam us, Then we'll need your shipping info, your jersey size, etc. Just email us, jersey@chatsports.com. We will get you guys hooked up. Leroy Pearson Jr. It was hard to pay attention with the way the game went. How did we do penalty-wise? And if it was bad, was it the normal mistakes? I think he had 3 penalties. He had 5 for 35. I think I missed some push-ups again. I don't know where those other ones came from. I don't remember there being 5. The one bad one was the late hit, the 15-yard personal foul penalty early in that game. I remember complaining about another one. It was the holding call on Trayvon Diggs was soft. That was a competitive balance flag of shit, this game's getting out of hand. Let's try to give the Giants some life. Then the Giants did nothing with it. So I thought overall, 5 for 35. They still nearly was 4 for what? 4 for 20 after the one bad one to begin. They were fine. Daryl, trade Michael Gallup to feature KaVontae Turpin more. I think Turpin's still going to be more of a gadget guy for this team. I mean, shit, they put him in the backfield a bunch. He had more carries again than he had receiving yards. Now, you can't make Turpin a 20-carry guy, but he was involved, right? He had 6 targets, dropped one of them, or 6 touches and targets, dropped one of the targets. That could have been a touchdown as well. And they used him. Kellen Moore never could. Took McCarthy 1 game to make it happen. Promising sign, but I'm not trading Gallup right now. You don't save much money. If Tolbert emerges, you can reconsider it next year, I guess. But I'm keeping Galbert I'll be keeping Gallup right now. Now we have a fun live programming schedule for you guys this week. We're live today. That's Monday. We'll be live again on Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Again, make sure you guys are tuned in. We will be live 3 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Central time on Sunday for our live Cowboys watch party against the New York Giants and Aaron Rodgers. So whenever you're watching, this will be our weekly schedule outside of Monday Night Football games, etc. So make sure you are subscribed. Obviously, the Sunday watch party time might change, but that's what it is for week 2. Michael Sutton, $5. After years of not investing, how excited are you of having 6 who are starting caliber? I love it, man. For years, I begged. You can go back to some of our very first shows when I was a little bit thinner and younger. I wanted a safety so bad. Every year, I'm like, give me this safety in the draft. Give me that safety in the draft. And the Cowboys invested. They found some guys pretty cheap and then paid to keep them. I love this safety group. I think it is the best safety group in the NFL. That might be a hot take. I don't know. Brody, how did Mazi Smith fare in week 1? Overall, solid. He had a splash play on a pressure. He had a nice TFL on a run play and had 2 tackles in total. I thought he played well or fine enough in a small sample size. Was not a game that you're going to ask Mazi Smith to do a lot of. That's a game in which you put Neville Gallup out there for 35 snaps and say, go have fun, kid. Because the game was over at halftime. And you're going to have your passers out there to kind of keep the game alive a little bit. So Mazi did good, but I'm not too worried about that one. All right, who is your favorite rookie on the Dallas Cowboys? I hope to see plenty of Deuce Vaughn's in the comments. He got to play some, although I am worried the drop the Deuce organizational push is going to be tough because I feel like those KaVontae Turpin plays are the same ones you'd call for Deuce Vaughn, and Turpin got them all in week 1. By the way, favorite rookie, sound off in the comments section. Daniel Moriarty, tight ends didn't do so well last night. Bit worried about that. If there was a way to improve in that area, how would you do it? Trade, draft, etc. You did do the draft. You drafted Luke Schoonmaker. I would like for him to get more involved as we move forward in some capacity. I think Ferguson will be fine. Just got to relax, dial it in, not make so many mistakes, not so many drop passes. It's one game. I'm frankly a bit more concerned about Hendershot's drops because he had those a lot last year too in a small sample size. Those got to get dialed in. If a cheap, young, good tight end becomes available, trade-wise, go for it. Be aggressive. I'm not going to prevent it right now, but we'll see who's available in a month or so. Gangsta Big Chungus. Thoughts on how Cooks and Gilly did with the star on their helmets. Cooks was targeted 4 times, 2 catches, 22 yards, although he did draw a 37-yard pass interference call. I've long believed that I think, especially for fantasy purposes, pass interference penalties should go to the quarterback and the wide receiver, right? Like, why isn't that just a stat? Or just like add penalty yards gained. That should count. And that, I think, don't we all feel talking heads can't complain as much if it's 190 yards through the air or whatever it would be with the 37-yard PI that was correct to be called but doesn't count in the stat sheet, Stephon Gilmore, by the way, I thought he was awesome. Targeted 8 times in coverage, allowed 3 catches, 36 yards, an INT, plus 2 more pass breakups. That's 3 PBUs total. He was awesome. Really good. All right, who was the Cowboys' MVP from week 1? Can you pick one? I don't know. There's a lot of good names you could go with there. So sound off for me in the comments section. Who was the Cowboys' MVP of their week 1 blowout win over the New York Football Giants? A lot of routes you can go, but sound off for me in the comments. Chris B, if the Falcons are bad, bring Kyle Pitts home. Screw it. I mean, I love Kyle Pitts. The Falcons, Arthur Smith just doesn't want to feature his best players on offense, and Desmond Ridder won't either. They got Bijan involved. They had 1 target for Drake London. They only threw it 18 times. It was a bleed the clock offense. They're going to run the football really well this year, but Pitts had 3 targets for 2 catches, 44 yards. The volume is just not there right now. Bijan was great, but Matt Collins should not be their second leading target guy. That's just bad coaching, bad offenses, whatever. Timmy Reynolds. Micah is the running back of the defense, and Mazi Smith was blocking for him. It's fun. I don't like calling him the running back, though. He's better than a running back. But it's fun, though. Micah did play some back in high school, but I like Micah a lot. He's going to have a fantastic year. Hopefully, Mazi Smith continues to have success moving forward.